Sage Rugo.
You know, Zach, if the Bible was a movie, it would have been burned in 47 countries. Murder, incest, floods, talking animals, human sacrifices, and that's just Genesis.
You make it sound like God is a psychopath with control issues, Sage.
They say God is love. Really? Then what was Sodom and Gomorrah? A heavenly Tinder date that went wrong?
What if it's just too complex for us to understand, Sage? What if it's like that?
Noah built a boat to save animals, but God forgot kids with asthma. As if you don't fit the cute animal category, you were just a holy debris.
You know, what if suffering has a purpose, Sage? What if suffering has a purpose? Do you think suffering can have a purpose or might have a purpose? Like, I don't get it.
Let's talk Abraham. God told him, kill your son. And Abraham said, cool, should I sharpen the knife, or do you want him sauteed?
But sometimes those stories kept me sane, Sage. Sometimes those stories kept me sane.
Imagine hearing voices in your head telling you to kill your own child. And instead of a psych evil, they call you a prophet. Religious logic, the only place where attempted murder wins your sainthood.
When I was broke, lost everything, and ready to jump, Sage. You know, I was ready to jump. And those times, I didn't call a scientist. I called God. Not a scientist, Sage. I called God.
Job, God literally bets with the devil to ruin his life. Kills his kids, his livestock, gives him skin disease, all just to prove a point. That's not divine love. That's cosmic gaslighting.
But maybe that's the point. Maybe it's about faith, Sage. Maybe it's about faith.
And Eve, she eats one fruit and ruins humanity. Meanwhile, God puts the forbidden tree right in the middle of the garden. That's not a test. That's entrapment. Like putting cocaine in a daycare and blaming the toddlers.
You say Job got played by God? But he still came out strong. He kept his faith. Yet the man still lost everything and still praises God.
We were made in his image, they say. Then why are we born with knees that break, brains that panic, and genitals that start wars?
Sage, you know, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, Sage. I'm just saying not everything has to make sense to be real.
Talk about unrealistic expectations. If this universe had a designer, he's the kind who installs the fire alarm after the fire and charges you for the batteries. Zach, the truth is, religion sells suffering like it's perfume. It convinces people that pain is purpose and that joy is dangerous unless proved by the clergy.
Some people survive on belief, Sage, because logic doesn't hug you when you're going through, when you're dying inside. Logic does not hug you when you're dying inside, Sage. I've seen people healed by faith. A faith of a mustard seed. Or a faith of a seed mustard, something like that. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people healed by faith, Sage.
Faith is fine, but blind faith? That's just walking into traffic with your eyes closed, singing hymns and hoping the cars stop.
Yeah, maybe it's a delusion, but maybe it's the only thing that kept them from ending their lives or, I don't know, kept them from, ending it all.
If I wanted moral guidance from something that violent and contradictory, I'd read YouTube comments.
Sage Rugo. Evolved. Humans don't need stories of genocidal floods and divine tantrums to teach them not to kill each other. They need awareness of human suffering. They need shared responsibility, not fearing of invisible surveillance.
So what you're saying is, they don't need a dictator in the sky with the Bible in one hand and lightning bolts in the other. They need each other, and they need honesty.
Damn right. A moral code that threatens them with hell, if they question it, is not morality. It's psychological blackmail. It's time they stop calling it faith and start calling it what it is, inherited fear wrapped in tradition.
So then, what is their moral compass?
Simple. Empathy is the compass. Logic is the map. Science is the light. History? That's a review mirror. They learn from the past. They don't build altars to it.
So their ancestors? They did what they knew. But these humans have got no excuse to stay there. They're supposed to outgrow them.
Exactly. Just like their kids will outgrow them. That's evolution. Biological and intellectual. The past isn't scared. It's just background noises. A reminder of where they came from. Not where they have to stay.
So maybe God, if he exists, isn't some micromanaging tyrant. Maybe he's just watching the timeline, watching them stumble forward, mess up, learn, grow. Kind of like a parent who finally realizes the kid doesn't need training wheels anymore.
Well, now you are thinking. They don't need the Bible to tell them murder is bad. They figure out why it's bad. They don't need to quote Leviticus to know love matters. They just know because they have grown, not spiritually, but consciously.
They're not the same species that wrote those verses.
Nope, and if they are, they have wasted 300,000 years of human evolution just to obey desert scribes who thought rain was magic.
Alright, Mick, you win this one.
Oh, I always win reality on my side. Now let's go write morality perfectly without burning witches this time. Sage Rugo.